Before this video starts, I just want to let you guys know I'm trying to adjust to a new work schedule, so upload should be getting back to normal pretty soon. This week was just a little hard trying to adjust to it, but I'll try to get as many videos as I can out soon. Also in the video, you'll be hearing my dog Comet squeaking a toy every once in a while. Sorry about that, my mic just picks it up. He's just enjoying toys, but tune it out if you can. Hello everyone, my name is TinyTaking100 and welcome to the Okami Squadron channel. Today I'm going to be talking about command panels again and how you can use custom placeholders and data through command panels. This is super useful for making your own sort of placeholders that you can put in any panel that'll allow you to quickly manipulate different variables. Data is also very helpful for when you need to save something to a player without using perms or something like that. It's very customizable with what kind of values you can put in it, and it's super easy to set up really quickly. So let's get right on it. So I've just created a placeholders.yml. It's just a quick little file. Inside I have an item with just a placeholder that comes with command panels, which is cp player name, which just shows the player name of the current name of the player who has the panel open. But for custom placeholders and data to work, all you need is command panels. You don't need anything else. But let's get started. So a very common way of using placeholders is when you want an argument for a command. So say you want to do /ban player name, and then it comes up with a menu and you click ban, warn, whatever you want, or just help keep track of who's been banned, what offense number they're on, that kind of thing. You can do that using these sort of things. So a basic setting for this would be commands, and then you make a command you want to do, so slash whatever you want. So we'll do mod. So you do /mod, and then we're going to do the player name. So you want to make this your own placeholder. So we're going to do cp dash. That's what you always have to have at the beginning of a command panel's placeholder. And then the rest can be whatever you want. So I'm just going to do banned player. Just like that. And now when we do /mod somebody's name, this placeholder will now take their name. So now if we add a lore to this item and just place it in, just like that. Now if we save, go in game and reload, when we do /mod person's name, it'll then fill this in. So now that we're in, do /cpr. After that, you're then going to want to open it. So we'll do /mod. If you have auto command registration on, after you restart your server, this will actually autofill. But since I haven't restarted my server, it won't. So then we'll just do TinyTank800, just like that. And now the panel will open, and you'll see at the bottom it says TinyTank800, which is what we put into the command. So now that we have that working, I'm now going to show you how to move this placeholder between different panels. So say you make the /mod person's name, then come up with ban, mute, or warn. You'll then be able to click on an item, it'll open up another panel, and it'll send the player you've chosen through this panel to the next one. So let's go back to the YML. Now that we're at the YML, I'm going to just change this to ban, and then cp ban player. Just like that, so it'll just come up with the text. Then after that, I'm going to add commands. And we're going to use open equals. We're going to do a panel name. I don't have the panel created, but I'll create it in a second. So I'm just going to do banning, like that. And then now right here is where you're going to set what placeholder you're moving. So if you add square brackets, and then you put the placeholder you want in the next menu. So inside the banning menu, this will be the placeholder you use. The one thing about it is it cannot be the same placeholder as the one you've set here. If you do, it'll try to set TinyTank800 equal to TinyTank800. So what you want to do is make sure it's different, using like cp ban player 2 equals TinyTank800 sort of deal. So all you're going to do is cp band player 2, and then semicolon, and then you're just going to put the same placeholder. So if we do the same placeholder we have in this current panel and put it in there, now when they open the banning menu, it'll then set this placeholder to equal this value. If there's no value set to this placeholder, it'll then just set ban player 2 to equal ban player. It'll just show this text whenever you put it. But if this actually has a value like TinyTank800, it'll then make this equal TinyTank800. So when you put it in the lore, it'll do the exact same thing as the one you're currently using. One thing about using these sort of brackets and things like that, you'll want to add quotes or hyphens, whatever you want to do. If you end up using a hyphen somewhere in this command, you'll want to use quotes so the YAML doesn't break. But once you have that, it should work as long as you have the panel created. So I'm just going to create the panel real quick and then I'll go back into game. So I've created the panel. All I did was add an item that just has a name of CP Band Player 2 and then a command when you click it to say the name of whatever the placeholder is. Let's go back in game. Now that we're here, /CPR. And now if we do /mod tinytank800, then we click this item. So now see it move to the next panel and it has my name still there. So that's how you move placeholders from panel to panel. One thing you need to make sure though is if you have a separate command, since I have another command set on the mod menu, if you do that command and it doesn't set the placeholder, whenever you look at it, you'll see it shows CP Band Player. So there's many ways of making sure that this doesn't happen. If you add no command, it'll make it so that the panel type no command, it'll make it so players can't do /CP banning and then it just doesn't come up. And then you want to make sure if you use no command that you add an actual command like shown before in the first panel where you do the /mod and then the placeholder. Now that we have that, I will show you how to change or add placeholders inside of a current menu. Well, back inside the original YML for the mod menu, I'm going to make a new item. And it's just going to be pretty much the same thing, but we're going to say create CP price, just like that. And then we'll just put CP price in the lore. So what we're going to be doing is creating this placeholder using this item inside of a current panel. So rather than using open equals and then the panel name, which is placeholders again, which wouldn't work anyways, but instead of doing that, what you'll want to do is get rid of all of this and just do placeholder equals. And then we're going to do the same thing with the brackets. We're going to do CP price. And we're going to set it to be 500. So just like that, that is how you set it so that you can set a placeholder inside of a current panel. So now if we go back in game, do /CPR. And then if we do mod tinytank800, you don't really need to do that part. But once you have that, you'll see create price. As soon as we click it, it'll then create the placeholder and reload. So I have panel refresh on. It takes about 3 seconds, but since it reloads, it'll automatically refresh the panel with the actual value of the placeholder. So now you see the placeholder now says 500. So that's how you would create a placeholder inside of a panel, or if you want to add something to it, you can use the math or things like that. It's good for if you're making like shops or panels that need a value that you can add or subtract from or do whatever you need to change it while you're there. If you use the shop example from the Command Panels Discord in general made by Rocky, it's a little outdated, but it uses this sort of thing to use the sell and buy interface. It makes it so that when you do /shop and then you try to buy something or sell something, it'll come up with a menu where you can add a certain amount of items, which will change how many you're buying or how many you're selling. It'll also allow it to, whenever you click an item, it'll set a placeholder in that panel so you know which item you're buying, which item you're selling, what the price is, which panel you need to go back to if you do leave that menu. So using placeholders can make some super modular panels and can really help make your panels really easy to set up so you don't have to make 500 different pages of items. It's just you click an item and it already sets all the values. So that's pretty much it about the custom placeholders. But if you're ever trying to use the open equal and you don't have a current placeholder set, you can set this value doing the exact same thing. You just change this value to whatever you want. If you would like to use placeholder API values as well, it'll do the exact same thing with the placeholder. It'll actually parse it and then set the custom placeholder to that value. But that's really it about that. Now we'll move on to data. So data kind of works the same, except it saves throughout the panel. So if you close the panel and reopen it, it'll save it. It'll always be there for the player unless you clear it. But this is useful for when you're trying to set data for some player and you don't want to use perms. So for data, you have a few different things. This is the wiki of command panels. Will be linked in the description if you want to read through it. But for adding data, this right here will only set it if they don't have data. If they do, it will not change it. But all you're going to do is you add data. You put whatever you want the name of it to be. So you can do like price or tag or anything like that. And then the value. And the value can be whatever you want. After you have it set, if you want to use it, you use this placeholder, which is CP, data, and then the name that you set. So that's the same as this name right here. And this will show up for the player as their own data. The set data is almost the exact same thing as the add data, except for it'll automatically override any data that is there. This is personally what I use all the time. I don't even use add data. So you do set data, same thing, data name value, and all it'll do is always reset whatever the value is to the specific value you set. Deleting data will delete the very specific data that you put. So if you want to get rid of just the price or anything like that, you'll use delete data. Clear data, which should have an equal at the ends of it. The wiki should be fixed soon, but you'll do clear data equals, and then the player name. This will clear every single bit of data that is saved to that player. So you want to be very careful using this. Say if you have one panel that sets a name tag and you have the name tag saved, if you use a different panel like a shop and then you use clear data, it'll also clear that tag data if you have it there. So make sure you're being very careful with that. Math. This is useful for if you're trying to add to something. But all you're going to do is math data equals, and then the data name as usual, and then the operation. So what this is you'll do minus 15 times 3, whatever you want to do there. You'll put there, and it'll do that to whatever the specific value is already set. So say you have price, and the price is equal to 3. If you then click on an item and it does math data, it'll do, let's say, plus 1. It'll then set the price value from 3 to 4. So now you'll have it at 4. Good for shops, good for any specific thing you're trying to do. Say you have like a different page system that goes through it. All that will work using this. The only limitation to this is you can't do big amounts of math. So say you're trying to take a different placeholder, add another placeholder to it, and then put them all together, and then that sets to this data. For that, I would recommend using Placeholder API. They have a math extension you can use, and it can do all kinds of really cool things. But if you want to find that, you just got to search Placeholder API. Once you search Placeholder API, all you have to do is go right here. It says GitHub. Once you're in the GitHub, this is the entire list of all the different placeholders that Placeholder API has, all the different extensions. Once you get past all of these letters, these are all the plugins that also use Placeholder API. So if you have that plugin installed and then you install the actual extension for it, you'll be able to use all of these as long as you have the plugin installed. But right up here in the M section, you'll see math. And all you have to do is Papi Cloud download math and then Papi reload. And you'll be able to use the math expressions. If you want more information on how to actually use this, I recommend going to the math GitHub. So if you just search Papi eCloud math, you'll see math eCloud if you go here. And right here, there's this GitHub. You click this, it'll give you a ton of information on exactly how to set it up and a bunch of examples. But that's how you can use math a little bit in a different way. But if you're just trying to do basic stuff, you can use math data. So now let's get into actually showing how this works. So I'm just going to copy the set data. And we'll go here and we're going to add it into here. We're going to do the data name. We're going to set it as tag. And we're going to set the value to hello. So once you click this item, it'll then set the tag. So if I add a lore and do CP data tag, and before that, I'll just put current tag, just like that. Now, when we click on the item, it'll set the data of tag to the word hello, and then it'll show it in the actual current tag spot. So let's say you're trying to make it so players can select what prefix they have active using luck perms or something like that. You would do the command to actually give them the tag through luck perms or any other plugin you're using for that tag. Then after it, below it or something like that, you do the set data tag and then a name of it. So say you had a tag that's like unbreakable or something like that, you can set the tag name right here of hello to just unbreakable, and you can check it using a has value. I'll show that in a second, but it's really useful for if you're trying to make it so it shows which tag you have equipped and let players know what exactly they have. Back in game /CPR. Now if we do mod 100, right here you'll see data. Current tag is nothing because nothing is actually set. I actually accidentally put date right there, so I'm gonna have to change that before I do anything. But if you click, it'll set it. So now you see it says current tag hello. So that is the data set. Now if you close the menu, open it up again, you'll see it always stays. So you never have to worry about that data being lost through resets, or if the player closes the panel, anything like that, it'll always stay. And when they reopen it, it'll have the exact same value. So now I'm going to show you how you can use the has value to check exactly what the placeholder says. Or the data says, I mean. So if we go back, and then we do has value. If you don't know exactly how to set all this stuff up, I recommend you watch my has sections video. It explains all the different has sections super well, and you'll be able to use it super easily. So we're just going to put value of hello. So this is checking if the value is hello. And we're going to compare it to the data. So we'll do CP data tag, just like that. So it's going to check if this tag has the data of hello, then show this item in it. So we'll do material, green wool, name, you have hello tag selected. Just like that. And then after that, I'm going to make a command that's just going to del data of tag. So what that's going to do is it's going to get rid of the data that's inside the tag so that this will then change since I have panel refresh on. /CPR to reload it. And now you see it says you have hello tag selected and it's green. But if we click it, it'll then remove the data and now it's not set. So if we click it again, it'll set it and it'll change. So there you go. That's how you can set different tags or different values to then show certain things. It's good for maybe if you want like a toggle menu where you can toggle fly, it'll then set that the player is fly active. So that's the super basics of how to use data and placeholders with command panels. If you guys need any help, I will have the Discord for command panels linked in the description. I'm a moderator on there. If you come in, ask any questions in the command panels chat, we will all try to get back to you as soon as we can and get you the help that you need. But hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please leave a like. Consider subscribing. I'll have many more tutorials and other videos coming out soon. But thank you all for watching and have a good one.